Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. My name is Prime, and today we're gonna do it a little bit differently. Today we're gonna talk about what will be good to add to the Descent game mode. As we all know, we can collect some currency for inside the game mode, and we can collect some NSA currency for outside of the game mode that we can buy at our NSA store or outside. You can buy it at an NSA store and then boost your Descent character, and you can call it a little bit of a Descent watch because we can add some critical hit chance, some headshot damage, some status effects. A lot of different things are in the NSA store to boost your base character in the Descent. But most of us are playing Descent just to have fun, trying to grind to the highest level and of course get those reconstructed caches. And why are we looking for those reconstructed caches? Because those reconstructed caches will have named blueprints. There are a bunch of named blueprints within the Descent game mode, all going from gear all the way to weapons, a lot of different ones, and even some DZ exclusives as well. A few weeks ago I made 2 different videos about the gear and about the weapons. You can check them out, talking about almost every single blueprint that is available within the Descent game mode. The only problem is that the reconstructed caches is very RNG. If you defeat the Nemesis, you have a 12% chance to get that reconstructed cache. This was all data mined and was shared on Reddit, and if you go to level 31 or higher, you have a chance of 49% to get that reconstructed cache. 31 is pretty damn high. You have to have a lot of hours in the day to reach that potential 31 level to get that 49% chance of reconstructed cache. But that 12% while beating the Nemesis is a little bit on the low side if you ask me. A lot of people didn't even defeat the Nemesis yet and cannot reach it, or if they reach it they get one-tapped by him and they don't really know how to attack it. Of course, the more you play the game mode, the more you get used to the game mode, the easier it gets. For me, for example, I can defeat the Nemesis within 40 minutes or so, or almost always within that hour if I'm playing then solo. So today I'm gonna talk about something that we came up with the stream. We were talking about it a few days ago live on Twitch/IamPurePrime. Hit me up with a follow, you won't regret. And we were talking about it, and then one of my community members, Stugots, came with a pretty interesting idea. Why not make an NSA store, an NSA vendor, so we can buy some regular stuff just like we have with the Countdown vendor. While you play Countdown, you can get, of course, a lot of loot. That is the loot piñata of the game, and at the same time we're gaining some Countdown requisition points, and with those points we can go to a store and buy a few different things. Like 3 different named items will always be for sale every single week. They rotate, and next to that you have a lot of different caches. This season's cache, an exotic cache, named cache, you name it, there are a bunch of caches in there. So we were talking about it, why not open up an NSA vendor as well? But then we started thinking about it because maybe people will cheese the game mode and only go for example, loop 1, jump out, do loop 1 again to get those NSA points. As we all know, those NSA points are only rewarded to you when you finish a loop. So if you take out the arena boss, and every single loop it goes up just a little bit, and we defeated the Nemesis after loop 6, and that granted us 48 points. So there are ways to get those points. So we were thinking about it, how can people not cheese this by instantly going to the vendor and only repeating loop 1 over and over and over again, and how much should the caches cost, especially for those reconstructed caches. And I think a lot of other people would love to see some exotic caches or other caches in there as well. Maybe a little bit the same as we have in Countdown, but then just add that reconstructed cache to there. And why that reconstructed cache? Because we all know that holds named blueprints for gear or for weapons, and everybody wants to grind for that. The easiest solution would be to just raise the percentage of chance that we have. So for example, if you defeat the Nemesis, you have 25% chance. I'm just saying something, right? But I think that would be good enough, as that is a 1 in 4 chance, and most of the community still has some problems in beating the Nemesis. But if they don't want to do that, and if we're gonna switch over, for example, to that NSA Vendor, then we could go for some NSA points that you only get after defeating the areas. And then maybe what we were thinking about is just activating that store after you defeat the Nemesis. Yes, this contradicts a little bit by me saying that most of the community, or a lot of people in the community, didn't defeat the Nemesis yet, but there should be something to unlock it. So we thought maybe let's go just for when you defeat the Nemesis just once that week, that NSA Vendor will open up for you, and every time that you go into the descent, you get your NSA points. You can spend them on your descent watch, so to call it, or you can spend it within the NSA Vendor to get your reconstructed caches. And I think that will be a great solution for the reconstructed caches, as a lot of people I heard talking about it, defeating a Nemesis 3, 4, 5 times a day for the last couple of weeks, and they never received a reconstructed cache. And that is a little bit too much RNG if you ask me. So that was our idea. So like I mentioned yesterday, we beat the Nemesis after loop 6, and that gave us a total of 128 NSA points. So I'm talking about from the start of the descent all the way after we defeat that Nemesis, we gained 128 NSA points. Again, it's after loop 6, so if you're solo, you're probably gonna beat him after loop 3, and then it will probably be around like that 60, 70, maybe 80 points that you can collect. So now we need to think about what would be the perfect amount of NSA points to buy a reconstructed cache if we would activate that NSA Vendor. And we were talking a little bit about it, and because in our opinion you need to beat the Nemesis before that NSA Vendor opens up, it would be around, what, let's say 100 or 150 points. Something like that, because you still need to grind it, right? It still needs to be a little bit more lucrative to run through the descent and then beat the Nemesis, instead of us going into loop 1, defeating that loop, jumping out, going in again. So that's a little bit what we're trying to stop, because then of course people are gonna cheese it and not gonna play the game mode how is intended to play. And that's pretty much what we came up with. And again, a special shout out to you, Stugatz, for talking to me about it, brainstorming with me about it. This was a lot of fun. And of course, I want to hear from you, the community. Do you think this is a good idea? Or do you think we just need to up the chances and forget about the NSA Vendor? And how many points should we spend on that reconstructed cache if that will be available? I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments below. But again, don't forget, this isn't in the game. This is just us theory crafting about what would be a good addition for the Descent game mode. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this idea, and of course, if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form, make sure to like this video. And if you're new here or you just want to be updated about the Division 2 and the Division universe, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. But that's pretty much it for me today. I will catch you in the next one. PurePrime out.